Hey you. I once watched a fairly famous TED Talk in which Amanda Palmer spoke quite eloquently about the art of asking, of knowing that you need something that others have, and simply asking for it. She claims that asking properly requires vulnerability, authenticity, and openness. She claims that learning to ask for what she needed fundamentally changed her life. So much so that she even wrote a book about it. And she is far from the only person to hold this view and then to write about it. Paul Millerd, in his book The Pathless Path, encourages a more open and more direct approach to giving, to not requiring the intermediary of a properly approved charity to manage our desire to help. He quotes Seth Godin on the fact that the internet has massively lowered the marginal cost of generosity. And he goes on to argue that generosity of spirit and a gift of giving has much to offer both giver and receiver, those who ask and those who answer. He talked about the freedom with which we give to children, not keeping score, although to my mind a parent of more than one kid is supposed to keep things kind of even, while simultaneously keeping one eye on the adage of giving to each according to their needs. The scorekeeping does still go on, you just need to talk about fairness in a different way. But anyway, I digress. This whole giving and receiving thing struck me. Often in transactions that are not between you and your children, in transactions between adults, the main narrative is about not letting someone take advantage of you, and also, at least in the circles I move in, of not wanting to be seen to be taking more than our fair share. Essentially, of not taking the piss. And this is kind of hardwired in me by now. I love a party. I like to share. But I absolutely get incensed when someone blindly and blithely rushes up to the buffet and fills their plate to bursting without a thought or a care for the fact that there are others coming behind them, others who also deserve a fair share. The person who looks at something cut in 8 pieces, sees the 7 other people in the queue behind them, and then takes 2 or 3 pieces for themselves anyway. In other words, the apparently selfish git who should know better. And yet, if I hit the pause button on my automatic shit-givening rage, I might have time to reflect and to wonder. Who knows why they behave like that? Maybe they are a selfish git, but maybe not. Who knows what past privation is triggering that behaviour? Sure, some people are just greedy, and they want everything for themselves, and they have no empathy, and so they can't understand why they should allow other people to have some of what they want for themselves. I mention no names. But some people are genuinely hungry. It might be the first meal they've had that day. It might be the only meal they'll have that day or that couple of days. Who knows? Not me. Perspective on a situation may alter your judgment. Sure, it's upsetting if you don't get any cake at all, but maybe they did need it more. However, I digress again. The subject of this video isn't taking, it's giving and receiving. To my mind, there's a subtle difference. Giving is not taking, and neither is receiving. But as adults, I find it can be quite difficult to do either. I'm really terrible at asking for help, and not much better at accepting it when freely offered. I mean, I try to be open and accepting of that which others truly want to offer me, if they have good intentions, but it's so hard. I'm always worrying that I'm supposed to be giving something in return, and I worry if I don't have anything to give in return. I worry that people think I am taking things unfairly, to the extent that I often don't even take what I am actually entitled to, not even from the state. I spent well over a decade being absolutely entitled to certain disability benefits and to certain sorts of support, but deliberately not applying for them because others might need it more, and I was doing okay. I didn't want to be thought of as a scrounger, even though my life and the life of my family might have been better if I'd had the help I was entitled to. From my childhood, a very transactional approach to giving and receiving things was hard-baked in my psyche, and I will to this day usually only accept a gift or a drink or a favour from people I know really well, people who I think won't judge me, and I kind of think that's normal. And yet I am continually astounded by the people around me who have no qualms about asking again and again and again for whatever they want, and apparently getting it. So how much asking and giving and receiving is enough? And how much asking and giving and receiving is not enough? Damned if I know. But I would like to be able to both give and receive with ease, with grace, and with pleasure. I think that would be good. The generosity of strangers is a potentially beautiful thing. And I know that often I really like it when I can do a little something for someone else. It makes me feel good about myself. That's not the purpose of the giving, or at least I don't think so, but it is nevertheless part of the result. They get what they want, and I feel better. They feel better. Maybe the world itself is a tiny bit better. If we can be kind, if we can give from a place of abundance and empathy and enjoy the pleasure in seeing others happy with their needs met. And if we can, and we do, and then the icing on the cake is that we get to feel good too, that sounds like a win-win situation to me. So maybe we should all be on the lookout for these opportunities a little bit more. This direct help, this giving and receiving. And maybe our lives and the lives of those around us would be incrementally improved if we did. Maybe kindness could become the next epidemic. Maybe. I'm going to think about it at least. It might be worth a trolley. Till next time.